Hey guys, welcome to Protein Treats. Today we are doing something super cool for you guys. We're putting together a recipe that you can use for Thanksgiving, you can use it for Christmas, you can use it anytime that you want to make, for example, a quiche or you want to make a pie. So what we're making is protein pie crust. Now I've been told it can't be done. It can be done. I'm going to show you how today. It is super easy, super fast to do, and it tastes amazing. So let's get started. So what you're going to need is half a cup of coconut flour. You're going to need a quarter cup of unflavored protein. We've used our Nutracelle protein that also has fiber in it. And you're going to need half a cup of butter and 1 teaspoon of vinegar and 3 eggs. And that's it. That's all you need. If you're the kind of person that likes to have a sweet pie crust, I don't agree with you, but if you are that kind of person, go ahead and add a little bit of stevia to your dry ingredients. I'm not doing that because I don't prefer the sweet flavor. So it's as easy as mixing up your dry ingredients first. So we're gonna go ahead and put in our coconut flour, and then we're gonna put in our protein, and we're gonna go ahead and get that mixed really, really well. The thing about working with coconut flour, super high in protein. It's great for maintaining your blood sugar levels so your blood sugar doesn't spike when you have it. And it's a great substitute for flour when you mix it with other things, but it's very, very thirsty. It's a thirsty flour, so it needs a lot of moisture. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make sure we mix this really good with our protein. Now, just like a traditional pie crust, what we're gonna do is we're gonna break in our butter. So we're literally gonna just toss our butter right in the bowl in with our dry ingredients. And then using a little pastry knife, we're gonna go in and we're gonna break this up so that it forms almost like a pea-like consistency. And I'll show you guys what it looks like. So my technique might be different from your technique, but I push down and then I kind of turn a little bit when I get to the bottom. So it's this motion, and you're gonna break up all of that butter and get it nice and even in your bowl with your dry ingredients. All right, so now that we've got our dry ingredients mixed with our butter, it's gonna look just like this. So you're gonna have it almost be like a pea-like consistency. That's why when you're using your butter, you want your butter to not be cold, but you want it to be a little bit firm. So really a true room temperature, you don't want it to be super soft. So this is exactly what it's gonna look like. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna mix up our wet ingredients. And those are really simple. You've got 3 eggs and a teaspoon of white vinegar. So I'm gonna put my white vinegar into the egg, which is gonna help break it up and give it a really smooth consistency. And then I'm just gonna whip my eggs a little bit here. And you wanna make sure when you're whipping up your eggs that you really break up the yolk and you get everything perfectly consistent. You don't want any egg bits in your pie crust. So now that we have our eggs mixed perfectly with our vinegar, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pour this. I like to kind of move the dough a little bit over to the side. Pour this right into the middle, and then we're gonna go ahead and just mix it up with a wooden spoon. Now remember, it's not gonna be quite like a traditional pie crust, and that's because remember how thirsty our coconut flour is. So it's gonna be a little bit wet, and that's okay, it will firm up. So don't worry if it looks really watery, let it sit for a few minutes and let that coconut flour start soaking things up. So right away, you can see already that this is starting to turn into a really nice consistency that we're gonna be able to put into our pie pan. Once you have it mixed really well and it's starting to form like a ball, you're gonna wanna let it sit. So let it sit for about 5 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes until it firms up and it's ready, it's malleable, it's ready for you to be able to put it in your pie tin. Now, unlike doing a traditional pie crust, you're not gonna roll this out. So we're not gonna be putting flour on the counter and using a rolling pin. Instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna transfer our dough right into our pie pan, and then we're gonna actually use our fingers to press it down, almost like you would like a graham cracker or an Oreo crust. So that's how we're gonna make it. And then we're gonna put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 5 to 7 minutes maximum, just to give it a nice little brown one, but I'll show you guys how we're gonna put it all together. Now, one nice thing about working with a dough like this is if you find it's still a little bit moist, go ahead and just like you would roll out your pastry, just sprinkle a little bit of coconut flour on the bottom of your bowl and then roll your dough right in it, and it looks absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna pull this out and show you exactly what this looks like. It looks just like you could make a traditional pie crust out of this and roll it out, but like I said, we're not going to. We're gonna press it right into the pan. So take your ball like this and plop it right in the middle. And I don't like getting my hands dirty. If you don't mind, go right ahead. But what I do is I actually cover it in cling wrap. And that way, when I'm pressing it into the bowl, I don't get my hands all dirty. All right, so you're gonna shape this just like you were playing with Play-Doh. It's that easy. So you're just gonna go ahead and you're gonna use your fingers and you're gonna crimp along the sides to give your pie crust edge, just like you would with normal pastry. And look at this, it looks absolutely amazing. And I gotta tell you, this is actually easier to make than traditional pie crust. So when they say easy as pie, what I think they really meant was easy as protein pie. Last step that you're gonna do before you put it in the oven is you're gonna get a fork and you're gonna poke a few little holes in it, just exactly like you would any other pie crust. So poke, 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 just like that. Beautiful, absolutely perfect little pie crust. Now you're gonna take your pie crust, you're gonna put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 5 to 6 minutes. So you really wanna keep an eye on it. You don't want it to overcook. You still want it to be a really pale golden color because when you put your pie filling in, you're gonna cook it again. Okay guys, I have taken my pie crust out of the oven. It smells amazing in here. If you guys were in my kitchen, you would be trying to get me to give you a piece of the pie even before we've made our filling yet. So good. You're gonna be able to use this for pot pies. You can make a chicken pot pie, you can make a quiche, you can make, obviously, your pumpkin pie. We can even make protein pudding pies using this pie crust. So it's totally the most amazing thing ever. Look at this. You want it when you pull it out of the oven. You want it to be this golden color. You don't want it to be browned yet because whatever you're gonna put in it, you're gonna put it back in the oven to cook again. Unless you're doing, like, for example, pudding pie where you need it fully cooked. Now, the trick is you wanna be able to touch your finger to it and it should feel nice and hard and you know it's done. If it's still a little bit moist and it's soft, that's okay. Put it back in the oven, keep it at your 350 degrees, and check on it every minute to 2 minutes until the bottom is nice and firm. But it should be in that 5 to 6, 7 minutes in the oven to get it that nice consistency without yet browning. So here it is, you guys. Totally amazing. We just made protein pie crust. So make sure you look down below for the links. We're gonna be doing pumpkin pie filling, and of course in the future we're gonna be doing other pie fillings for you. I would love to hear your comments. I would love to hear how your pie crust filled out and what you used it for. So make sure you tell me down below, make sure you comment, like, make sure you subscribe for sure so you get all our awesome recipes. ProteinTreats.com, of course you can find us on YouTube and you can find us inside your patient account. It was lots of fun making protein pie with you guys today. I can't wait to see you again on our next episode. Have a great day, guys.